Hello and welcome back to my channel. Guess what? I have pulled out the stops today. First of all, okay, my bra straps are not showing. That's a first, like a literal first. I remember that one channel where I actually had the little straps that you use to hold your shirts onto a hanger, kind of like hanging out of my shirt. Nobody told me that. Nobody warned me about that. But anyway, so not only have I hidden my bra straps today, I have pulled out not only my good camera, but also a new microphone. Hello, I have a new microphone. Point being, try to bear with me if we have some setup issues going forward. But today, I am here to talk tea, put on makeup, and then do the thing. Let's not abuse my smiley face, my Mr. Smiley Face man here. He's my new friend. Today we are starring this absolutely charming, not at all ratty-tacky mirror that I have never managed to pull the stickers off of, because I'm fun like that. I'm fun and super, Oh yeah, wait, no. Let's backtrack. Zoom. I'm going to introduce the products that I'm going to be using today, because, listen, if I don't do that, I'm not going to remember to do it later. I'm starting a low buy. I'll probably try to talk about that a little bit more in a minute, but in the meantime, we're just going through all the products. You know, sometimes I feel that I have like a gravitational pull all to myself that just yanks everything off of shelves and also out of my head. Actually, I have a little bit of a story about that.
A few moments later.
So, that is the story, the deal, the situation, the plan. This is my reminder to myself that I should intersperse these comments throughout the videos. Okay, so we're talking drama today because that is what we do. We're a commentary channel. So that's what we're doing. We're commentarying. Primer, we're using my Becca First Light Priming Filter Instant Complexion Refresh. As you can see, it's hydrating. Well, you can't see that it's hydrating, but it is hydrating, and it is purple. That you can see. Here's a minor update about what's been going on in my life before we start talking about all the dramas. I'm going to get some dental surgery soon, so if I don't have lovely, regularly scheduled videos for a couple of days, please forgive me. I am trying to get a whole bunch of things done, but I have not managed to film in advance because I was doing a lot of research for a future true crime video, which I still have not decided whether it's going to be on this channel or a secondary channel. And I do have a comment from a lovely subscriber who has been with me for a minute, talking about how they can't really listen to that kind of thing, and I completely understand. Well, I'll comment about that at the end of the video, because guess who's getting featured today? Lancome Teint Adult. My pump just squirted foundation onto my pillow behind me. That's fantastic. What was I saying? Oh yeah, okay. So here's my point. I don't remember. Since I am going to be getting some dental surgery done, I'm not 100% sure when I'm going to be fully recovered. I do have a couple of days off from work, but for all I know, I may spend those days, hyped up on painkillers, because I'm getting a compacted wisdom tooth removed, and it's kind of like a hot mess. I have a lot of dental issues, all of which I am working on getting fixed. I'm going to be getting some orthodontics done probably this year. Eventually I'm going to get some implants. My dentist was like, you have a while ago and you might as well get it done the right way instead of just doing a hodgepodge tooth thing. And I'm going to take his advice. Hopefully I'll be alright and I'll be able to go back to work early and get some work done here early, but we're going to see. As you can see, since I have a new camera and a new microphone, and my bra straps are hidden, as you can see, I'm now becoming a professional YouTuber. Anywho, that's that issue-mation situation going on over there. Obviously, eye primer. This whole week I've been really putting YouTube on in the background instead of listening to podcasts. I wanted something different. I wanted to hear a different voice, a different style of content. Of course, because I am a commentary junkie, I did end up listening to a lot of commentary, which means I have comments on the commentary. So James Charles got into it again. Okay, you know that you made it in YouTube when you cannot breathe without a million channels making a video about, does he breathe from the diaphragm or from the chest? I mean, not in the singing, because if you're singing, then you should be breathing. Anyway, so James Charles went across the Great Blue Sea and opened a Morphe store in Birmingham. It was in Birmingham. So 8,000 screaming fans, they were called by the beautiful and completely up to on the Times press, showed up, confusing the heck out of the traditional media, which is sort of like a, I would say, routine thing these days. 3, count them, 3 eyeshadow palettes, and that is the Dose of Colors Caddy and Desi Friendcation palette, right here, very pretty. Ooh, cute, cute, cute. So you end up getting ridiculous headlines like virtually unknown U.S. blogger stopped Birmingham traffic with his 8,000 screaming fans. That doesn't make any sense. Like, just on the face of it, you should be able to read that sentence and say to yourself, what the heck am I talking about? That doesn't make sense. If he were virtually unknown, clearly he would not have 8,000 screaming fans in the UK to gridlock the city. They were talking about him on a radio station. He calls in and has a little conversation with the DJ. All very lovely. James is a little bit like... I don't know what to say about it. Anywho, he calls into the station, explains who he is. Newspaper that called him virtually unknown changed the headline when it became obvious that he was, not virtually unknown. And then a TV news anchor is talking to his co-anchor and is like, oh, I don't get it. You do your makeup beautifully. Why don't you get a YouTube channel? And she goes, that's because I take my advice from a woman, not a man. Okay, then. It's not like there have been many, many world-renowned male makeup artists. The makeup artist behind Kim Kardashian's iconic face is a man, or the makeup artist behind Kylie Jenner's look is a man. I try not to be trapped in the past. I try to update my, operating system with the new things. But even putting aside the fact that some people don't have the ability to deal with the reality of people being, different, of times changing, of men wearing makeup if that's what they want to do. Nothing wrong with that, but even putting aside the fact that some people haven't updated that particular piece of software, it still doesn't make any sense because there have been a bunch of world-renowned male makeup artists. Maybe she should take makeup tips from a guy sometimes. Not always. I'm not saying that men are better at makeup than women. Doesn't really matter is what I'm saying. Just to go into not a devil's advocate position, because I don't want to even pretend to advocate for the idea that there's something wrong with taking makeup advice from a man, because that's dumb. But I do think it's interesting that whenever a traditionally female field starts to accept men, men tend to immediately become the top of the heap in those fields. Like, for example, as soon as men started to show up in the makeup beauty guru area, who became the biggest beauty YouTubers? Jeffree Star and James Charles, right? So what's up with that? And before them, there was Manny MUA as well. Well, not before Jeffree, but before James. There was Manny MUA. So I think it's great that men are starting to show up in beauty. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's great for any field to accept everybody and any... Why am I all the way over here? Anybody and everybody who has an interest in those things. But I do think it's interesting that, if a male field becomes infiltrated by women, men no longer want to do it. And if a female field becomes infiltrated by men, the men become popular and most respected people in that field. So that's interesting and not the best. But that is aside from the whole issue of taking makeup advice from a woman versus a man, because that is stupid. And men have been wearing makeup for ages. What I do think is especially freaking dumb, though, is the way that now that men are starting to wear makeup more often and more, I guess, openly, you have things like, wasn't it Clinique that's starting a line of like a foundation for men? It's dumb. But it's also a completely different issue. Yes, men do sometimes wear makeup. Deal with it. It's not a problem. What is your problem? Why are you being like this? I forgot to turn my microphone on before. The sound is going to be really terrible for the past few minutes, and I apologize for that. I did warn you in the beginning that I wasn't really familiar with what I was doing. So now that I have done my infamous crease colors, I will now be moving on, turning my lid into like a sheet of aluminum foil. Jouer Ultra Foil Eyeshadow Palette. Difficult to see because it shines no matter what angle you use it from. Basically, I said to myself, well, Ariel, I would like to do a look that is neutral, but also glam. The base of it is this slightly yellow-toned silver. Anyway, there was also some nonsense with James clapping at a 13-year-old. What I've realized about James recently, and again, I do like James, but he is so sensitive. I think he commented on one of these videos basically saying it's no secret that I'm bad at taking criticism. And yeah, he is bad at taking criticism, but instead of just being like, well, everybody knows that, then maybe he should do something about it. Clapping at a 13-year-old, that's what we're doing? Really? That's not cool, man. That's not a good look. In his own defense, he says, well, nobody ever let me use my age as an excuse, so he shouldn't be able to either. Here's the thing. That's not true. But I don't think that James knows that. I was having this conversation with my friend Laru, as you know, her, Lara, and we were talking about the James thing, and I was like, he doesn't realize he's getting a pass because of his age. Because of his age. Do you know what I mean? And then she said, part of the problem is that when you're as big as James is, it's hard to tell that you're getting a break, because even if 90% of people let it slide, 10% is an awful lot of people when you're as big as him. And so it feels like you're being ruthlessly and mercilessly attacked, even though in reality, other people would get a much worse reception. And I think that's something that is easy to forget. Bigger YouTubers are in a completely different universe than most of us. Wet n Wild Mega Last Liquid Catsuit Shimmer Liquid Eyeshadow in the shade Cashmere Love. I think it's always important to keep in mind that different people's perspectives are, in fact, different, you know? For James, if 1% of his followers get mad at him, that's a freaking lot of people. And then, of course, because he's the one in that position, it wouldn't necessarily occur to him that other people would be getting much worse in terms of percentage. Because I think in terms of number, it still wouldn't be as much unless you were like Jeffree Star and Nikki Tutorials. Just something to bear in mind. Plus, he is 19. Pat McGrath, Mothership 5. And more on Morphe. Speaking of Morphe and Jeffree Star. So they're collaborating, huh? That explains his completely biased review that was actually just like a Morphe advertisement. He's always had a reputation for being really honest. What could have brought on this vast betrayal? Aquasurance Compact Foundation from JCat. I have not used it since I lost all my coloring due to the onslaught of winter. But we're going to do it. We're going to see what happens. We're going to learn to navigate these tumultuous roads. That definitely explains a lot about that. So basically, I do think that he's probably honest in most cases. The fact that he does have a reputation for being honest has caused brands to really court him extra hard, even considering how big he is on beauty YouTube, because his approval carries a lot of weight. People just assume that if he says that he likes something, that's because it's actually good. Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in shade 25, medium, because that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not sure there's any more drama going on, really. Aside from normal things like Trisha Paytas still crazy. I finally unsubscribed from a lot of the channels that I've been losing faith in. I've been kind of drifting off from the large guru because I'm trying to cut back on my spending a little bit. So these channels that are 90% reviews and product pushing, it's kind of like ColourPop, brown sugar gel eyeliner in rum. This is fantastic. Don't sleep on it because it's a limited edition. So, well, fantastic. NARS Tiny Itty Bitty Orgasm Blush. Speaking of sad things, this happened a while ago, and I'm sure that everybody here knows, but Brandon, the ex-CEO, I guess, of The Ordinary, died. He passed away. I don't know if anybody was surprised by that. I wasn't surprised by that, but I was, shaken by that. I know that his partner has said that he believes it was an accident. They're saying that he was bipolar, which I don't think is surprising to anybody at all. I think there's some evidence that Brandon was having some, obviously some mental health problems. I'm not going to presume to make guesses on the matter. I was never really sure how I felt about people boycotting, because it's tough for me to boycott someone based on the fact that they're obviously very mentally ill. I know that he did say some racist things, but one of the things that you have to understand about mental illness, the form that it takes is influenced by the culture that the person who has the mental illness is in. So, for example, someone in an extremely religious country might believe that they're hearing the voice of God. It's a chemical issue that causes your specific brain to react in a certain way. But then what the reaction is going to depend on what's happening in your brain. And your brain is going to be formed by both your genetic tendencies and your environmental factors, which is why the question of nature versus nurture doesn't actually make that much sense if you want to take it to that place, because the answer is always going to be both nature and nurture. I am very sad for his family, and I'm sad for him as well, because I was really rooting for him. I don't know. It's just sad. It's sad when somebody that gifted and that visionary dies so young, or dies in general, but definitely dies so young. Genius suffers, I guess, is the thing. And that's always been the case. I guess I'll talk a little bit about what's going on with me while I do the last pieces of this makeup look. I am starting to try to invest into my channel because I do want to make it look and sound as good as it can. This is the first video I'm filming with this new setup, so if it's a hot mess, I really do apologize for that. And my continued identity crisis with this channel. So one thing I could do is keep this channel only beauty stuff, beauty makeup, review. I'm not going to do reviews. I'm terrible at reviews. But, beauty, commentary, and makeup videos and such, and then put my larger commentary on media and other YouTube things on a secondary channel along with my crime stuff. Or I could put them all here. I feel like I lost my mascara. I'm actually going to use Lash Princess mascara. I'm in fact going to be filming my first true crime video right after I finish this one. I don't want to alienate any of the people that watch me already. That's the thing, because every one of you means a lot to me. I know that my production values have been really crap and also stagnant, and I've been using a clip-on mic that makes noise every time I move. I may have to change my scheduling because it's been really difficult to get the Wednesday video up. I have to stay up late to upload it. I don't know. We're gonna see. We're still working on this stuff. That's a beautiful mascara, I gotta say. I'm gonna try to use this ColourPop lip primer because I have it, and I don't know what they do. My battery's going to die soon, so I'm going to cut this relatively short, which sucks because I have a comment I want to reply to. I'm just going to put the comment over there, and we're going to talk through my last few minutes, and then we're going to sign off. So basically, the comment is up there, and I can't see it right now because I'm doing my makeup, but the gist of it is that they can't watch or listen to crime or killer type stuff because of they're living in SA. I think that's South Africa? If so, yeah. I just watched a video about some of the things going on over there. I completely understand where you're coming from. And things like that are really what makes me reluctant to start doing the crime stuff on this channel. But if I do, I mean, I guess you could just skip it, which is, you know, you said that. But it makes me feel bad, though, because I just don't want to, you know, make you feel uncomfortable. But thank you so much for commenting. You're one of the people that comments to me all the time, and I'm sorry that I haven't had a chance to feature one of your comments yet until now. And that I'm doing it in such a weird way now that I am doing it. And I really am not... I'm not looking to alienate you or make you uncomfortable by putting content up that would be disturbing for you. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do, but hopefully if I do put the crime videos here, you know, hopefully you could still continue to watch by just skipping over those, but I'm not sure where I'll put them, so we're going to see. But thank you so much for watching, and thank you for being here week after week, guys. You guys are fantastic. I really appreciate you being here. And if you do like this video, please hit the like button down below. It helps me out a lot. Tries to get my content back out there. I'm trying to invest in the channel, trying to put things out there, trying to make it more interesting and more visually appealing. I'm going to start buying logos and graphics and things like that in the coming weeks. But anyway, yeah, and consider subscribing if you haven't subscribed before, and please consider hitting the notification bell so that you know when I put a new video up. And thank you so much for being here, and I'm gonna see you next time. Bye.
Beep beep.
I'm over bronzing. But the reason I'm over bronzing is because it looks better on this camera. Because this camera flattens my face out and makes me look like a pancake.